Hey everyone, Drew Goldfarb from DGPicks.com. We're talking more Major League Baseball on this Tuesday with some plus EV options and some more breakdowns to get to, so let's dive right in. We're starting with the Rays and Red Sox. Both of these teams offered up below the even money mark, minus 102 underdogs for Tampa Bay, minus 116. Very slight money line favorites on the Boston side of things. We talked about this game yesterday because there was plus EV in that game as well. It did not go that way, but that gives us an opportunity to discuss what that means in a bit more detail, because plus EV doesn't mean, oh, it's going to hit because there's value in it. It means that the frequency with which you would expect that bet to hit exceeds the implied odds of the bet itself. So like if you were going to take, if there were no zero spaces on a roulette wheel and you were going to take red or black, you would expect 50-50 would be fair odds. That would be plus 100. Normally at a casino, you would see minus 110 or the equivalent odds or something along those lines by factoring in the green spaces. Well, if they offered you plus 110 and there were no green spaces, you take the black or red, whichever is offered up at plus 110, because it should hit 50% of the time. And if that happens, you'll make money in the long run. And that's the case here, where Boston and Tampa, the Boston side did not pay out yesterday. They're plus EV again today, minus 116 implied odds. Are right around that 55% mark, and they're, according to ESPN Analytics, nearly 62% favorites to win this game. When you look at the pitching matchup, Aaron Civale, Nick Pivetta, Pivetta's numbers have been better in much more limited action. Only 15 innings pitched, 15 hits, 14 strikeouts for Pivetta so far. He has allowed 4 home runs, but has not given up a ton of earned runs. ERA at 3.60 so far on the season. Civale, meanwhile, 8 dingers allowed, 41 and a third innings of work, an ERA approaching 6 on the season, and a whip that is higher than Pivetta's in limited action. So, again, the plus EV play, like yesterday, is Boston. Will it pay out again? Well, that's why they play the game, but the Red Sox are where the numbers say you should be going on the money line. Next up, looking at another AL East team, the New York Yankees are favored because, of course, they are, even on the road in Minnesota. Minus 116 to take the Yanks to pick up the win. Minus 102, just above. They're paying out a little bit less than that even money mark of plus 100 if you want these slight underdog Minnesota Twins to pick up the win. That's my dog Adelaide deciding to make as much noise as she can anytime I'm recording. Let's take a look at the breakdown here, because as she continues that, the Yankees are tied for first with the Orioles entering today in the AL East. 27-15 record. They're 7-3 in their last 10 games. Minnesota, 1 game back of Cleveland in the AL Central, also 7-3 in their last 10 games. Run differential, much more in favor of the Yankees, at plus 54 on the year, plus 27 on the Twins side of things. Record against teams above 500, the Minnesota Twins below 500 against winning teams, 12-15 this season. The Yankees 12-7. Twins 11-8 at home. That's okay, but not great considering that they're 8 games above 500 on the season. Yankees 14-9 on the road. So, minus 116 for the Yankees, minus 102 for the Twins. ESPN Analytics says that there is a very heavy amount of plus EV on one side of this money line, and ESPN says it's the Minnesota side, giving them a 60.3% chance to win this game. So why would that be when these teams have the same record in their last 10, but the Yankees have been the better team overall? They've been the better team when it comes to run differential. They're the better team against better teams than Minnesota is. Even the Yankees on the road versus the Twins at home, it's basically a wash, if not favoring New York in that regard. So the way that the underlying math works out, according to ESPN's computer simulations, is that Minnesota should win this game 6 out of 10 times. I'm looking at the starting pitching matchup here. Paddock's numbers, it's not like Carlos Rodon has had some spectacular start to the season, but his numbers across the board are better than Chris Paddock's. And when we look at more recent numbers for Rodon, we're going to just pull up his game log here. His last game, 6 1/3 against the Houston Astros. Yankees won 9-4, 7 hits allowed, only 2 earned runs. Time before that, really struggled in Baltimore, 6 earned runs, 7 total runs in just 4 innings of work. But basically, in 4 of his last 5 starts, Rodon has been putting his team in a position to win. Not the best outing against Toronto back on April 16th, 3 earned in 4 innings, but only 5 hits. He had 5 strikeouts. He walked 4. That was really their issue in a 5-4 loss to Toronto. So implied odds are very helpful, and the ESPN analytics or whichever computer simulations you like to look at are very helpful in finding a game that may be attractive on the numbers. It doesn't mean you have to go that way. And this is one of those situations, there was a couple of those for me yesterday, where I look at this game and I don't see the Twins winning this matchup 6 out of 10 times. I see the Yankees at minus 116 on the road against a team that struggles against good teams like Minnesota has this season, against not their best starting pitcher in Chris Paddock, at least this season. I see there being value on the New York side. So you can go with the numbers and you could just say, hey, Minnesota minus 102, ESPN Analytics says 60% of the time they win this game, hammering it because that is a great deal. You're basically getting them at implied odds of like 51%, and they should win 60% of the time. But you don't have to. And for me, I take the Yankees. And if you didn't just see all 4 of my MLB breakdowns for today, make sure you head on over to dgpicks.com or patreon.com/Drew Goldfarb and begin your free 7-day trial. Because in addition to talking about the Rays and Red Sox and the Yankees and Twins, we talk Pirates, Brewers, and Guardians, Rangers. One of those games, there is a pretty good argument to take the team that is at plus money on the money line for this one. So make sure you begin your free 7-day trial. Check out my breakdowns of those games right now. Tell me down in the comments below, do you agree or are you going against the bets that I have suggested here? Let me know and tell me what teams you want me to be highlighting throughout the season, because we'll be talking plenty of baseball throughout the summer as things go on, and we'll be back to talk more hockey as well once the Eastern and Western Conference final matchups are set. So head on over to dgpicks.com for more, and I'll see you next time.